He's the shove-it man, oh he's the shove-it man. He's gonna shove it, yeah, he's gonna shove it, man.
Alright, it's the gut-punching, back-breaking, girl-spraying, all-night, all-day HAWK. It's time to continue with what happened after the WWE TNA 2010 Monday Night War. And at the end, I'll let you know who put on the better show for the week. There's no need to further speak. Alright, let's start with Raw, who last week had Batista walk out on the show. But there's no time for any recaps because randomly Edge is in the ring kicking the hawk out of Evan Bourne. No idea what this is all about. Edge tries to throw him through the air, but Evan counters with double knees to the face. Evan keeps throwing kicks and a big knee to the face. Edge does manage to dodge one kick, but Evan smacks him with the free leg. Unfortunately for Evan, the airborne does not connect, and then Edge starts gritting his teeth, foaming at the mouth, turding in his nappy and going nuts. There's the spear. You know what? Nice way to open the show, a really nice trade-off. Edge gets the mic and he says this is an example of what will happen to all of his opponents at the Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view. He reveals he beat up Evan Bourne because he felt disrespected. He says John Wiener is a superhero, Sheamus is a great right bulldozer, and Randy Orton is a snake who will sink his fangs in. I was waiting for an insult punchline, but there wasn't one. Somebody give Edge a punch to the gut. Randy Orton stomps out to the ring. Edge tells Orton that he's not in good enough health for them to have a fight. Orton disagrees and then he hits an RKO on Edge. That ends the opening segment. Pretty fun and not boring at all. Good stuff. We now meet our guest host for the evening, who is Ashton Kutcher. Yay, a celebrity that I've actually heard of. Eve gives him a hug. Kutcher is annoyed that Zack Ryder has been talking smack about him on social media. Ashton is here to promote his stupid film that I've never heard of. He'll punish Zack Ryder tonight. The Miz marches up and asks to feature in his next film. Ashton is mumbling and stumbling over his lines. The Miz will be forced to face Daniel Bryan tonight. They almost come to blows, but Eve stops them and reminds them that this is a PG show. Yep, we know, Eve. We all know. Anyway, shouldn't celebrities be scared of wrestlers? That sucked badly. Here's R-Truth, the new United States champion. Truth beat The Miz for the vacant title last week. His first major singles title in the WWE. The crowd really loved them some R-Truth. He loves them back. It seems he'll be facing Chris Jericho, who's still going for his bowl of gone off custard look. Truth dances at Jericho to show he isn't afraid. Jericho knocks Truth down but then runs into a hip toss. Chris Jericho can't connect with a dropkick either and he's slingshotted out the ring. Truth throws himself out the ring on top of him. We then go to an advert break and we come back with Jericho in control of the match. The Truth eventually almost rolls him up, but as soon as he stands up, Jericho hits an enziguri for a 2. Y2J is very confident of a win here. The Truth suddenly hits a flying smack to the jaw. It's followed with a big head scissors from Truth, and a pump kick. I don't remember seeing that from Truth throughout his career. Jericho manages a block in the corner and takes down the Truth with a bulldog. The Lion Salt does not connect. Truth can't connect with the scissors kick either. Man, which way is this one going? The Truth fights off the walls of Jericho. Now there's a bit of a botch on the front suplex. They pause for time. Chris Jericho's okay and they continue with a clothesline. The Truth misses the splits into the kicks and yet again Jericho tries the walls. He's got it locked on. Wait, no he doesn't. Truth rolls him into a small package. And believe it or not, my little friends, that's the 3. Wow, big push for the Truth coming right here. A great match and a surprising result. Jericho sells the loss well too as he sits in the ring looking depressed. Lawler says that he's worried about Jericho. Why? He's a dick. Great start to Raw. Let's see if the TNA opener can follow that. Over on the TNA show, they're talking about stupid top 10 world heavyweight ranking systems again. Sting ended up winning the favoritism contest and Kurt Angle turned his place down and wanted to start from the bottom. Jeff Hardy is the first wrestler to come to the ring. He quickly invites Mr. Anderson to join him. The story here is that Jeff Hardy is confused why Mr. Anderson is trying to be his friend. It is pretty stupid when I think about it. Anderson reveals that he's been acting weird because he wants to confuse people. He certainly achieved his goal. This means he's an asshole apparently. The crowd chant, "We're all assholes." Anderson describes how weird Jeff looks and he does the Jeff Hardy dance. He says old ladies must look at him and think he's an asshole. At this point, this word has been used 50 times. He wants he and Jeff to be assholes together. Hardy seems to be entertained by his antics. AJ Styles' music hits and Taz on commentary says thank God. Styles brings Ric Flair and the rest of the Fortune boys with him. AJ says he has a match tonight with Anderson, but he doesn't think Anderson is on his level. He calls Anderson Butt Muncher. He says he's the one Billy Gunn. Wait, no, he's just the one AJ Styles. Anderson introduces himself, and that ends the segment. Really weird and poor comedy. Next in the ring, we've got the men with mohawks and the Dudley boys. They've not been getting on lately. The band's music hits. It's Eric Young, Kevin Nash, and the one who looks like Elvis. They are the tag team champions for some reason. This will be a non-title three-way tag match. This music still slaps, by the way. Jeff Hardy's stoner friend and Eric Young will start. Eric gets a knockdown and a 2 sweep from Elvis. This is a bad decision because Shannon beats him up and gets a 2 count on a leg drop. Shannon dives off the middle rope into a cartwheel bulldog for another 2. Jesse Neal is in and he gets a Jesse chant from the crowd. Shannon, the stoner friend, hip tosses his partner into EY for another 2. Now Neal blocks EY in the corner and lands a middle rope crossbody for a 2. Eric gets on top of the match by cheating. He slams Jesse before Bubba forcefully tags in. Bubba misses his elbow drop. The teacher's now taking it to the student. Jesse is rolling around on the floor like a shark with a giant fin on its head. Devon feels sorry for Jesse and he tags himself in, which Bubba's not happy about. That gives Jesse the chance to tag the stoner friend. Shannon gets a 2 on a sunset flip before Jesse tags back in, and so does Bubba. He double clotheslines the Mohawks from behind. He wants to punish Jesse Neal more. The band are all sarcastically asking for a tag. Bubba gets a chair which is stopped by Devon. Then the band just leave for no reason and Jesse beats Bubba with the Mohawk spear. 2 of the band members never even set foot in the ring. I don't know if it was either Elvis or Nash who were even in this match. Bubba has the mic again and he challenges Jesse Neal for the pay-per-view, teacher versus student. Kaz is in the back talking about how confident he is with his career now. Ric Flair walks up and praises him. He tells him he was impressed last week. But tonight Kaz will face Jay Lethal and he expects Kaz to take him out. AJ Styles walks in. I think he's jealous. He's asking why he's talking to Kazarian of all people. AJ wants advice from Flair for his match against Anderson, but Flair tells him that he'll be fine. AJ Styles looks sad and lonely. Pretty bad episode of TNA so far. Everyone looks stupid. Let's switch back to Raw. Back on Raw, Recap Mania is running wild. I think this is why TNA is better for people with ADD. There's always something happening. It finally ends and Zack Ryder is in the back with Alicia Fox. He's complaining to Bret Hart about Ashton Kutcher. The Hart Foundation are also here and they ask Bret if he knows the people who jumped them at the end of the last episode of Raw. Bret says it was the Usos who he has just signed to the WWE. The Hart Foundation are very confused. Mixed tag match now, Santino Marella and Eve Torres, but Jerry Lawler on commentary is still trying to wrap his head and tongue around the name the Usos. Humble beginnings for those guys. The other team in this mixed tag match is Maurice and William Regal. This match doesn't even feel like it should be on Raw. Santino has a mic and he calls William Regal's music wannabe Darth Vader music. He criticises Vladimir Kozlov for being friends with Regal. He thinks that he should be together with him instead. He says that if Kozlov volunteers to team up with Santino, Eve will make love to him. A rare non-PG moment of comedy. Kozlov doesn't get to answer and the match begins. I'm not even sure why Santino wants Kozlov so much. All he's done is lose. Maurice is nailed with a dropkick so she tags Regal. Loud Santino chants from the crowd. Regal gets annoyed with his antics and smashes him down. Nice suplex from Regal now. He puts on the Regal stretch, which Eve breaks up. The ladies start a cat fight on top of the referee. Then Kozlov climbs into the ring and hits a choke slam on Regal. Santino wins it. So I guess Eve and Kozlov will now have to make sweet love. Pointless match, but at least there was some storyline progression here. Now whether you actually care about this storyline is down to you. They reveal that Kozlov's actions are being replayed on the Titantron and Santino now understands what happened. Logically, shouldn't the decision now be reversed as the ref can see that the cheating happened? I guess nobody cares because this whole match is irrelevant. Bret Hart out now, he's enjoying being the Raw general manager. Next week on Raw it'll be a joint brand show and also 3 hours long. He asks everyone for their opinions on what should be on that show. He's then interrupted by Ted DiBiase and Virgil and the crowd turn to complete silence. DiBiase has a suggestion, and that suggestion is to make DiBiase the general manager for the night. In return, DiBiase will pay him as much as he wants. To quote his dad, everybody's got a price. He goes on for ages trying to convince Bret to name his price. Ashton Kutcher appears on the Titantron and says he has a better idea. Viewer's choice, where the fans can decide everything. Apparently this is really revolutionary, even though it sounds just like Taboo Tuesday. Bret agrees with him. And then some legendary music hits and out walks Mr. McMahon. First time we've seen him since WrestleMania where he lost to Bret. He talks for ages about their WrestleMania match. The crowd chant, "You tapped out of Vince." DiBiase has just disappeared at this point. Good. Mr. McMahon talks about why he let Bret Hart be the general manager. He tries to tell Bret not to listen to the fans because the audience are children and it's up to Bret Hart to make the right decisions for them. Vince wishes Brett good luck. Feels like he's just playing with him. Then suddenly Vince starts jumping around like a gorilla and asking for the crowd to cheer for him. A weird segment. Not sure what that achieved other than maybe popping a rating. Back to the Hulk Hogan show we go. No Job Rob is sulking in the back, taping his fists. He's in a bad mood because management have asked him to do the JOB to the Stinger. Kazarian out for his match now. He of course takes on Jay Lethal. Lethal drop kicks him and flies into the ring with a head scissors. Jay Lethal ain't done though and nails the Tope Suicida. That gets him a 2. Lethal's really popular with the crowd here. It feels like this feud with Flair is doing him wonders. Speak of the devil, here comes the Nature Boy. That distracts Lethal and Kaz knees him in the back. Kaz slams Lethal and hits the springboard leg drop. Lethal comes back with a second rope moonsault into a pin. Nice, but it's just a 2. Kaz tries to get going again but runs into a kick. Jay Lethal looks for the figure 4 and smiles at Flair, but he takes way too long. Wait, no, he still manages to apply the hold. Not making Kaz look very strong here, are we? Flair's on the apron now encouraging Kaz. He makes the ropes. Ric Flair shoves Lethal in his face and then Lethal says shut up or I'll smack you on Flair. Kazarian rolls up Lethal for the win. I don't think either of these guys really needed to lose a match here. It shouldn't have happened. Flair keeps attacking Lethal and chops him down. Ric Flair's flipping out. He hits about 20 chops in the corner. But Lethal comes back and hits chops and strikes of his own. What the hell is Kaz doing on the floor still? Is he trying to push out a dump or something? Lethal nails the back body drop on Slick Rick and sends him out of the ring. Kaz is unable to wake up and instead AJ Styles rushes the ring and takes out Lethal. Now Kaz and AJ start arguing over who's going to smack Jay Lethal one. Lethal double drop kicks them out the ring. This segment made everyone involved look dumb except for Flair. AJ Styles is needy and he's crying for Ric Flair's attention and Kaz looks weak. AJ Styles is being wacky and the segment ends. A match that could have been good if they toned down Ric Flair a bit. In the back, Jeff Hardy's stoner friend has been knocked out backstage with a playing card on his back, so I presume it's the Aces and Eights, but it's 2010. A recap now about how Desmond Wolfe lost his property, Chelsea, to the idiot Abyss. And Abyss has been doing things to her. At least they make it sound that way. Then Orlando Jordan walks out. Ugh. He has Abyss's face on his tits for some reason. When did these two start feuding? Out comes Abyss and he has Chelsea with him. Abyss is meant to be a face, but the commentary team keep making insinuations about what Abyss has been putting Chelsea through. Orlando flexes his Abyss boobs at Abyss. Abyss is selling his arm, which was sliced open by Desmond Wolfe with glass last week. Orlando tries to smack his arm, which doesn't work, and Abyss smacks him down and rips the pictures off Orlando's boobs. Nice back body drop from Abyss now. Then Abyss misses his splash in the corner and the match turns. Orlando tears the bandages away and gets vicious. Eventually Orlando runs into a big boot. Abyss manages his splash in the corner this time, but he can't hit the choke slam. Instead, Abyss hits a face buster on Orlando. Not a move you would normally associate with Abyss. They're out of the ring now. Orlando pushes Abyss into Chelsea. Abyss starts shaking and goes into full idiot mode. He didn't mean to do it. Desmond Wolfe hits him with a pipe and the match is thrown out. They're continuing to attack Abyss until the Welsh Roider Rob Terry makes the save. What an exciting feud we have here. Abyss carries Chelsea away, who seems to be dead. That whole segment made me feel sick. I hate all of these people. Let's switch back to Raw. In the back is Zack Ryder calling himself a future legend to the Legend Killer. Then Randy gets a door slammed into him. It was the Rated R Superstar for some reason. For some reason that looked extremely comical to me. The Miz stomps out to the ring looking miserable. He takes on Daniel Bryan, who's on a one-night contract from NXT. They've been feuding on NXT because Daniel Bryan couldn't win and The Miz was his mentor. Bryan takes The Miz down with aggression. He gets overzealous and smashes into the corner, and Miz hits him from behind with a clothesline. Big kick to the face from The Miz now. Nothing happens for a bit until D-Bry puts on the crossface. The Miz squashes back on top of him for a pin, but Bryan counters that into another pin, and that's the 3. The Miz is a bad loser, so he attacks Daniel Bryan. He wants to force Daniel Bryan to apologise to Cole, but the mole's so ugly that this seems to wake Daniel Bryan up and he throws The Miz at Michael Cole. Kind of a funny segment and a credible win to build up a new star. Wasn't much of a match though. Randomly shoved in the ring now is the Usos and Tamina. They talk about how they've got the whole world tripping. Complete silence from the crowd by the way. They say they attacked the Hart Dynasty to make a name for themselves. They keep finishing each other's sentences. Really humble beginnings for these guys. Now they reveal they're part of the Samoan family. Tamina talks about her respect for the Hart Dynasty and says her father is the Superfly. They were born and created for one purpose: dominate. How awkward. The Hart Dynasty run out and attack them. They can't hit the Hart attack as Tamina breaks it up. She flattens Natalya and the Usos hit double super kicks and a Samoan drop, which I was okay with. They punctuate it with triple splashes from the top. Well, I mean, at least something happened there. Here comes Zack Ryder and Alicia Fox. He talks about how Ashton Kutcher has put a hit out on him, but Ryder needs to know who's collecting the hit on him right now. Ashton appears on the Titantron again and says just turn around. Jerry the King Lawler has a chair, but he just sits down on it instead. Then he leaves. Apparently it's not Lawler. Instead it's the Great Khali. Isn't one joke segment enough per show? Ryder can just briskly walk away because Khali can barely walk. Kutcher's back again and says no, it's not the Great Khali, it's actually Goldust. But no, it's actually not him. At this point, Ryder's dumping in his nappy of fear and anger and apologises for their Twitter feud to Ashton. Alicia screams that she's tired of the joking. She hands the mic back to Ryder, but he drops it. I thought it was a botch, but as Ryder bends down to get the mic, Alicia hits him with an axe kick. Wow, I didn't actually see that one coming. But what was the point apart from making Ryder look dumb? And look at the audience, they aren't even moving. At least they aren't leaving. Back to TNA we go. Back on the TNA show, the audience are going nuts because No Job Rob is walking out of his crazy music. What a contrast of audiences here. He is out here to talk to Steve Borden. He thinks it's crazy that their paths have never crossed before. He calls out Sting, but instead of Sting coming to the ring, a replay of Sting attacking RVD on the night he debuted plays. Now Sting's up in the rafters. He pledges to take the world title at the pay-per-view. Surprised how short that segment was. Cool for what it was. The Hulkster is lecturing Mr. Anderson in the back. He tells him everyone hates him, the heels and the baby faces. Hogan's words, not mine. Hogan says he sees big money in Anderson, but if he keeps acting the way that he is, he won't have any value. Anderson says he's turning over a new leaf and he's not faking this good guy act. Oh no, it's Puppet the Midget Killer. What is he doing here? They're hyping up a new TV show called Half Pint Brawlers. I should really look that one up. Puppet is now on TNA commentary. No mention is made of his TNA past. Christy Hemme interviews Roxy Laveau about her recent TNA return. Roxy talks about breaking her ankle in a match with Hamada. Christy tells her she's getting a title shot next week. She says she's excited about 50 times in 10 seconds and then leaves. The beautiful people enter and Puppet says he's just grown an entire inch. They take on Taylor and Sarita, who are just shoved in the ring. Velvet hip tosses Sarita, who kips up and dances at her. Sarita rolls her up for a 2 and back elbows her. The tag is made to Taylor Wilde as they both splash on Velvet. Puppet on commentary says Taz would fit in very well on his new TV show. Half Pint Brawlers. Velvet is getting completely dominated in there. Drop toe hold into a drop kick now. How is Velvet still alive in this match? Lacey causes a distraction and clotheslines Taylor from the apron. She gets the tag to a big cheer. The beautiful people start double teaming Taylor. Lacey hits the choke slam on Taylor, and randomly that's the 3. Sarita just stood there. I think they forgot to take her out. Puppet goes to the ring to join the beautiful people. He falls into the ring. He spanks Velvet, and now the mood has changed. Velvet slaps him and Madison DDTs him. But Lacey Von Erich feels sorry for Puppet and cradles him in her arms. He kisses her and she likes it because she goes for another one. The crowd are going nuts for this segment, and this has Russo written all over it. Jeff Hardy's in the darkness somewhere. He says tonight he's facing Desmond Wolfe and he's never faced a European wrestler before, so he doesn't know what to expect. Surely he must have faced William Regal before. Kurt Angle joins the commentary desk to scout his future opponents. Desmond Wolfe will be taking on Jeffrey Nero Hardy. Kurt says on commentary that he's never wrestled Jeff Hardy before. Surely that one can't be true either. Lots of memory lost on this TNA roster. Desmond seems to match Hardy's athleticism in the early game, but he gets his leg caught and Hardy leg drops him. Desmond Wolfe plays possum and kicks Hardy in the gut. Now Wolfe puts Hardy in the corner and clotheslines him down. Hardy wakes up and meets Wolfe in the middle of the ring with a big kick. Now it's a drop kick in the corner. Wolfe bails to the outside, but he's hit with a dive. Jeff Hardy celebrates that too soon and Wolfe jumps him from behind. We're in the ring now and Hardy takes Wolfe down with a flying short clothesline. It's time for the twist of fate, but nice, Wolfe takes him down with an arm wringer. Wolfe tries his Tower of London finisher, but Hardy gets out of that one, but he can't get out of the uppercut in the corner. The twist of fate is yet again reversed and Wolfe smashes Hardy with a hammerlock DDT for a 2. When they get up, Hardy hits a head scissors. Fun back and forth match here. Hardy tries to whisper in the wind, but it's a ref bump. Hardy hits Wolfe with the twist of fate anyway, but no ref. Wolfe gets 2 balls and a sock and he smacks Hardy in the head with them. He makes the cover and the ref wakes up and wow, Desmond Wolfe has just beaten Jeff Hardy. Let the Hawk know, did you forget that Desmond Wolfe beat Jeff Hardy? I don't remember him getting any wins after the Angle feud. Good stuff, let's catch the last bit of Raw. Edge meets with the Great White, Sheamus, in the back. Does Sheamus actually ever wrestle or do anything of purpose on this show? They will be partners tonight, but they will be partners that don't get on, and they will kill their opponents for the pay-per-view. And here's that match now. Edge teams up with the Great White to take on Wiener, and the little kids go nuts. And his partner is the Viper, Randy Orton. Wait, Wiener has the mic and he says that Orton is too injured and he can't compete tonight. But that's not a problem because everybody in the back hates them, so it wasn't hard to find a replacement partner. So instead, his partner will be Evan Bourne. Well, that makes sense. Cool for Evan to be in this spot too. Cena starts out well with a bulldog on Edge. Bourne has the tag and immediately dives down on Edge's arm. Edge quickly overpowers him, but Bourne isn't done and he connects for head scissors. Bourne throws a dropkick and a spinning heel kick. Edge has to bail from the ring. We go to an advert break, and when we come back, Bourne hits Sheamus for cannonball in the corner. The Great White smashes him with an elbow, and that simple move completely turns the match. Bourne's isolated for ages. He gets close a few times, perhaps the closest time is when Sheamus axes him in the face for a 2. Another long time of isolation passes. Edge runs into a big jumping kick from Bourne, and the tag is finally made. Pretty quickly we get the 5-knuckle shuffle on Sheamus. The attitude adjustment is reversed though, and Sheamus gives Cena a power slam. Sheamus misses his follow-up bro kick and runs into an Evan Bourne kick from the apron. Cena does the attitude adjustment. Cena also sidesteps Edge's spear as he hits the post, and the airborne connects on Sheamus. Wow, that's the end of the match. Great main event, and what a night for the underdog wrestlers. It really feels like they were trying to do something with Truth, Bryan and Bourne on this show, especially Bourne. Let's catch the last part of TNA before I summarise everything and see who's won this episode of After the War. Well, I thought it was time for the main event, but instead there's a loud Morgan sucks chant because Matt Boring is here. Angle asks on commentary what the hell is going on. Morgan is complaining in third person. He says we were robbed of the tag titles by Hall and Nash. He is being forced to find a new tag team partner for his pay-per-view match. Luckily, Morgan believes in giving out opportunities, so he offers an open opportunity to be his partner. He calls out a little bald guy in the back. I think he's talking to Kurt Angle. Perk looks 1,000 years old here. Morgan says, "Hurry up, you're holding up our show, kid." Angle tells Morgan he's not a little bald kid. Kurt Angle says last time they had a match, Angle beat him. Morgan no-sells it. Kurt's corpsing at this point. He asks Angle to be his partner again. Then he attacks Angle and dumps in his nappy of fear. Angle is held back by Gunnar, Murphy and another guy. Samoan Joe's music hits. I forgot he even existed. He's barely even a TNA roster member at this point. Matt Boring heads up the ramp and says he's given up on finding a tag team partner for tonight. Joe and Angle have a stare down, which is cool. Well, it would be if Joe had been any sort of threat for the last 2 years of his career at this point. I actually enjoyed that segment. Nice to see Morgan showing some character. It actually wasn't boring. On to the main event we go. The Nature Boy AJ Styles versus Mr. Anderson. They look like tag team partners in their matching blue outfits. It starts out weird because AJ Styles won't stop using the leg scissors, and it goes on for ages. AJ is relentless with this thing. Then AJ moves on to the side headlock with Anderson almost rolling him into a pin. They get back up and AJ leapfrogs Anderson into a dropkick. He celebrates and smiles with happiness with the crowd jumping with excitement. Don't you just love the Nature Boy AJ Styles? He tries to do it again, but he's caught and hit with the Green Bay plunge for a 2. AJ turns it around with an eyelash rake and a jumping enziguri kick. It's Anderson's turn to go running now with a crossbody. AJ rolls over the pin and uses the ropes to get the 3. That main event wasn't great. Anderson seems to respect AJ's decision. He calls for the mic. AJ looks confused how this mic falls from the ceiling. Anderson starts quizzing the audience on if they think AJ cheated. It then turns into a beatdown with AJ Styles and beer money on Anderson. Jeff Hardy runs them off with a steel chair. It seems like this whole thing just accomplished showing that Anderson and Hardy are now friends. But I think the opening segment already did that, so this was pointless. That's how this show ends. Okay, so WWE first. I quite enjoyed this show. We got that nice little opening exchange between Evan Bourne and Edge, a nice little match and victory for Truth on Jericho, and then a nice main event with Evan Bourne continue to impress. The middle of the show sucked though. TNA as usual was never boring. I just questioned the point in a lot of the matches and segments that took place. Does anybody really care about a show centred around why Jeff Hardy and Mr. Anderson are friends? And so many people look like dorks on this show. Yeah, this probably could have been better. I'm going to give this win to the WWE for the week. In terms of ratings, Raw got what they usually get, and TNA also continued their improvement. So the move back to their old time slot seems to be doing wonders for them. So that's it, and if you don't agree with that, I'll throw a fit.